Hey guys, how's it going? I hope you're having a good day today. We're going to start out with a little music video just because I think we need it. So, hope you're doing well.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here. You can take away. I'm a hot air balloon that could go to space. With the air, like I don't care.
That dude's got some serious moves right there. Notice they're all social distancing. They're not around anymore. And they're still happy. Look at that. Total social distancing. Pharrell Williams was before his time. He was social distancing before he ever even realized he was social distancing. All right. I hope you're all doing well. What we are going to do today is do a presentation on mutations. And so as I go through this, we'll take a look. It's probably going to be 2 videos, but I'll try not to be too long. So we're finally at a part where we're going to talk about mutations. And there's some freaky pictures that you can find on the internet with mutations. You just have to make sure they're not photoshopped, that they're real. You'll see some in this presentation, although I didn't get the super freaky ones because you never know if they've been photoshopped. But there's real life freaky mutations. So if we take a look, here's what we're doing today. We're going to look at what mutations are and what types there are, and if you can really become Wolverine from X-Men. Here he is. Is that man not a stud? And would you not love to have razor sharp knives coming out of your hand? I love it. All right, so here we go with Wolverine. So the learning target for today is to describe the different types of mutations that can occur. So this goes right along with DNA. We've not officially defined a gene. So here's the official definition of a gene. Each DNA molecule has hundreds of sections known as genes. So a gene is just a chunk of DNA. Genes are sections of DNA that provide the instructions for making a protein. So here you can see a picture. We have the chromosome. If you unwind that tightly packed DNA, you can see a DNA strand. And if you just take a section of it, that would be gene 2. And gene 2 would be all those base pairs, the nucleotides that we've been talking about. So that's the definition of a gene. It's just a chunk of DNA that goes towards a certain trait or towards making a certain protein. So, for example, the chunk of DNA that codes for proteins which make the color of your eye, that section of DNA is called the gene for eye color. And there it is. Mutation definition. So in biology, mutations refer to changes in chromosomes, which are just tightly packed DNA, and genes, which is just chunks of DNA. So mutations are really just actual changes in your DNA. The effect of a mutation can depend on the region, that's the area in which the sequence of genetic material has been changed. The simplest and most harmless are substitutions, which we'll talk about what that means, with no effect on protein sequence. At the other end are insertions or deletions, which you can't see at the bottom, and they actually can create a gene that just won't function. So it gets a little crazy. Mutations can also occur on a large scale with long stretches of DNA or RNA, if that's the genetic material, being inverted, like reversed or backwards, inserted randomly, duplicated, completely deleted and taken out, transposed, which is flipped around, or translocated. You put genes next to different genes when they're supposed to be spaced apart. So here you can see an example of a nice mutation, not a freaky, weird mutation, of where one of the petals of the flower went yellow. That's a definite mutation right there. The result of a mutation could be harmful, Could be bad. You could have a missing arm. You could have parts of your immune system missing, and so you can't fight off regular diseases like other people can. It could be beneficial. You could have an extra finger, which actually makes you a better carpenter. You could have a extra immunity to different diseases. Wouldn't that be nice right now? That makes you stronger. You could have a mutation that adds more muscle to you. You could have, so it could be good and it could be bad. If it's bad and it makes you weak, natural selection usually doesn't keep that mutation going. But if it's beneficial and you survive better, then natural selection actually keeps that mutation going. And so it will actually change the species. Or it could be neutral. Doesn't help you, it doesn't hurt you. Or they consider those silent. Mutation can lead to the loss or gain of a specific function to change the expression levels, or in extreme cases, death of a fetus. If you have so strong of a mutation or such a harmful mutation, sometimes the fetus, the baby's never born because the baby will die before it's ever born because of this mutation. You're going to look right now at a Taurus plantinus, which is a bony, lobulated outgrowth typically found, so you can see it right there, in the hard palate of people with a particular LRP5 mutation. So that's from a mutation right there. Now, oftentimes, that mutation gave also super strong bones. So they discovered this mutation when this guy got into a car accident and got killed, or didn't get killed. He was totally fine. Sorry. He was in a car accident and they thought he would have been killed, or his back would have been broken, or they did all these x-rays. He was perfectly fine. And they found out that his bones were 8 times stronger than the average person, kind of like the X-Men. And he had this mutation. And so this helped them to discover, not only does this weird lobulated outgrowth thing come on your mouth, but it also is coupled with stronger bones. So it's kind of an interesting mutation. This one is another mutation. It's called the small finger duplication. And if you look at this one, you grow an extra pinky. So they got an extra little side pinky. Now, I don't know if that would be helpful, harmful. I don't know at that point on this one. It also came with the other one merged. So that's kind of a strange, but that's another mutation out there. Causes of mutations. Mutations can be classified in various ways depending on the cause of the mutation, its effect on the function of the gene product, or the kind of changes to the structure of the gene itself. So it kind of depends. So if we look, causes of mutations, this one is the environmentally caused mutation. So this is from radiation, like nuclear. This is from like cigarettes, carcinogenics. Carcinogenics are ones that cause cancer. So mutagenic agents that are in our environment, such as carcinogens, I think I said it better, like cigarette smoke or high energy radiation, lead to changes in genomic material. Here we go with the next type. Natural. So it could just happen all by itself in nature. Nature just gets a little goofed up, puts in the wrong codes just on accident. Your guanine lines up instead of your thymine, and it's just natural mistake. Some mutations occur as natural byproducts of the error rate in DNA and RNA replication. Now, we have a system where our body kind of checks for mistakes, but sometimes we miss it. And that's where you get some of those weird mutations. So now for the types of mutations. This happens to be a certain type of mutation. It's kind of related to albino, that mutation. It's just a little bit different. But that's weird for a peacock. So you can have a point mutation, which usually those are substitutions. A substitution mutations are situations where one single nucleotide, your base, like an A, T, G, or C, is accidentally changed to another. So it's supposed to be a G and then pops a T on accident. In organisms having double-stranded DNA, this usually means that the corresponding base pair is also altered. So, for example, an AT base pair could accidentally be mutated to a GC base pair. Or if it was a carcinogenic, maybe it wouldn't be accidentally that carcinogen caused it. Or so you could also have it flipped where instead of AT, it's TA now, base pair. On the position of this change, it could have been a variety of effects. We don't know what that would have caused, but that's just one type of point, one spot, one little base, one little adenine got messed up. Something like that would be a substitution. Now you have the other type, which is called a frame shift. This kind of shifts the whole DNA when this happens. So a frame shift mutation is a genetic mutation caused by either a deletion or an insertion of DNA. So you got extras or you're missing some now. Wasn't just a swap. So it shifts the way the sequence is read. And we're going to see a picture which helps explains this. We will look at two types of frame shifts in the next few slides. I call the frame shift scoot over bases. I'm going to pause.